Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jamie Hilton. I'm one of the investment managers here at Sharewise, and today I'm very fortunate to be welcomed by Executive Chair Rita Brooks from Tambourah Metals. Rita, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you very much, James.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Now, for those that are joining us, there will be a Q&A session with Rita today, and any questions, please send it across to the Zoom link to be answered. Now, Rita, let's start off. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. I understand you've got a background in education and also Tambourah Metals as well.
I started Tambourah Metals we listed in 2021. Prior to that, I had been working on the Tambourah Goldfield on that project for over 7 years, and we had done some drilling privately, and the results meant that we wanted to do a more thorough investigation and broaden the over 2 kilometres of mineralisation that we have, and as a result we listed the company. Then we also had work with SQM in our Julimar North project, and then we've also done a work with CSIRO on machine learning, looking for when we were looking for pegmatites. That work was applicable to other investigations, so then we have stopped doing that because that machine learning finished that project, and they delivered that at the beginning of February 2025, the results. And we have now focused throughout the last 2 years expanding our portfolio. We have 5 projects for gold in the Bria Basin, which is Peak Hill mining multi-million ounces within that area. There's Meekatharra. It's a lot of people going back to those areas. And in the meantime, we're on to our 5th. We're just about to go drilling at Tambourah again and follow up 1 metre at 77 grams.
Wow, that sounds all very, very exciting, especially with that 5th site in place. And regarding gold at the moment, of course, gold has been performing exceptionally well of recent, just sitting at record highs. How does this strong gold price environment influence Tambourah Metals and particularly the Tambourah Gold project at the moment?
Tambourah has accelerated our plans for drilling, and we're drilling Alexandra and Young Australian in the next couple of weeks. That has never been drilled since 1980s, and we've got 4 metres at 2 grams. We've got grade to follow up there, and also we're extending and aiming for a resource of, we'd like to have in our sites 20,000 ounces within that area at Tambourah King, and it's an area that we haven't had resolved, but we've got high-grade gold less than 100 metres, including that 1 metre at 77 grams.
Very, very exciting. Sounds like there's a lot of good news ahead for the business. And from my understanding, you're also exploring for antimony as well, alongside high-grade silver and copper. That's been noted in the ASX announcements in February 2025. Could you
And this
expand
morning,
on that a little bit more?
James, this morning we have an announcement. We've been in the field, we've taken the follow-up sampling, and we've discovered another area with 4.5% antimony and 3% copper, with an equivalent of 500 ppm of silver, which is equal to 16 ounces. And that's this morning's announcement. So it confirms that this area, although the previous explorers were looking for 25 years for gold and copper, they never, ever looked at the antimony within this area. So it's a large area, and we've got 7 kilometres of where we're picking up these veins and the copper, malachite, silver and antimony. Antimony can be mined at less than 1%. It is in really, it's the only antimony is exported from China. The price has gone from 12,000 a couple of years ago. It's now 60,000 US a tonne, and we're only 110 kilometres from a port. So we're beside the fluorite deposit and mine that is with Sumitomo and Tivan, and they're situated 4 kilometres to the south. So this area, this particular structure, has a lot of geology, and we're very excited about a new discovery of antimony.
That sounds very exciting. And off the back of China and antimony as well, I understand that China has been putting restrictions on the export of that particular commodity. How has that changed the conversation for your business globally in terms of critical mineral security? And how do you find that changing Tambourah Metals business moving forward?
I think we've been under the radar about the work that we have been doing, and people with any interest in antimony and the critical mineral space understand that there is no operating mine. There's deposits that were mined historically in the US. US needs it for flame retardant. The price of flame retardant has gone up 120%. The ballistics and missiles use antimony, and it can't be replaced. So their supply and their endeavours to accelerate exploration, development and mining of antimony has really sent a rocket under explorers like ourselves.
Well, if rockets are going to the moon, that sounds like a very promising journey. Now, moving on to gold, do you mind explaining how your business develops high-grade gold, especially for the coming few years that you have ahead?
In the next quarter coming up, we'll be doing RC and diamond drilling, and that's with the help of an exploration grant that we have from the state government. And so the results of that drilling will probably be released in 6 weeks at least. But in the meantime, we drilled at Beatty Park. And at Beatty Park, that was an area, again, that was drilled in the 1990s, and they found 5 metres at 22 grams. And they left that project because gold was less than $500, and now gold is over 5,000 Australian dollars. So 5 metres at 22 grams is a very compelling project. And we just completed drilling there 2 weeks ago, and we're waiting on those results, which should come through in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So gold and high-grade gold, it's only good if it's mined. So we've got a mining lease application again at Tambourah, which is in the Pilbara, and that we're progressing that at the same time as we're expanding and drilling out this particular resource of an area that's over 2 kilometres. There was over 20 historic gold mines that had 1 ounce per tonne recorded in the documents and the historic data. However, 1 ounce per tonne now is, you can still mine one gram of gold a tonne. So we're looking for also high grade, but to expand that resource, we can also mine stuff that the old boys couldn't.
Oh, well, that sounds like a very compelling find and a very unique opportunity for you at Tambourah Metals. And speaking of high-grade gold opportunities, I understand that you have a very impressive history of high-grade finds. What's the most exciting aspect for you personally, Rita, as you look to unlock those deeper, unworked gold reefs with modern exploration techniques?
Well, initially, the original prospectors could only follow reefs that were on the ground, and they directed them and mined. But when it's 100 metres deep, they only had small leases. We've consolidated that lease area, and as a result, we've been able to have a big picture plan. And remember, to the north of us, There was the Malina, which was a historic gold shear that had historic workings. The Malina shear is better known these days as the home of the De Grey discovery, which was just sold for which has 11 million ounces, and Northern Star have now taken them over. So that started with historic gold drilling, and now that's how you can add growth value and opportunity in the Pilbara for gold. Besides, everyone knows the Pilbara very well for iron ore mining, but and there's another company that has a mill near Marble Bar, which is only 80 kilometres away from Tambourah. So the plan would be there are mills in the area. We don't have to go for expensive infrastructure, and we hope to be able to mine anything we find.
Very, very nice. And speaking of the mining that you're looking to do over in Western Australia, when do you expect the results for the recent sample at Speewah?
They came out this morning, as I mentioned. They're very interesting, but this is a 7-kilometre zone of high grade, which we've found in some of the rock chips, 4% antimony, 3% copper, and equivalent to 16 ounces of silver. So this area, the antimony is with the silver, so it'll be it's a multi-focused approach, and this area has never been identified as a potential source of antimony. So this is a new discovery. It was always measured and noted historically in rock chips in the search for gold. However, we've focused now on that antimony.
Very nice. And that new source of antimony sounds like a great new journey for the business. And
Yes.
looking a bit further down the road, thinking of the exciting work regarding antimony, what significant milestones or breakthroughs do you hope to achieve in the next 3 to 4 years?
Well, in the next 3 to 4 months, we'll be back at Speewah, and we're planning from extensive data. We've been doing all that compilation in the last 3 months. And so we're planning to get on the ground and hopefully follow up with drilling. And then we're just finishing reviewing contracts and signing up to go drilling next week at Tambourah. So there'll be gold news coming through. The antimony being with the silver and the copper, we've got, if you've got over 7 kilometres to explore and identify a potential source of antimony, silver and copper, so we will definitely, to the south of us, Sumitomo, working with TVAN, developing a fluorite mine. So the infrastructure there will also be important for us as we develop.
Very, very exciting. So it seems like it's coming along a lot sooner in the next 3 to 4 months as opposed to the next 3 to 4 years.
Correct.
Which is very, very good. Now, do you mind touching briefly on the recent drilling at Beatty Park?
Yes, at Beatty Park, we completed a program to investigate 5 metres at 22 grams that was discovered in the 1990s. There was 4 metres at 15. So in that area, we've done a lot of the data and the sampling. We've located that area, and that's one that we just completed. Those results will be in shortly. They're in the lab now. And at the same time, we found a couple of other areas of quartz veining that hadn't been drilled. So they also were, we just put a small area there that we included in our sampling and drilling. Those results, once they come through, will begin and form the basis of our next campaign there.
Very, very nice. And off the back of the next campaign, Rita, a bit more of a personal question, but as Executive Chair of Tambourah, what excites you most about the company's long-term potential over the next 5 years?
At the moment, we just announced a month ago that Terry Topping, an experienced executive, has joined us as a CEO and exploration manager, and his last work with Kairos ended with 1 million ounces of gold, which is only situated an hour and a half to the north of Tambourah. He knows the Pilbara well, and so in order to develop our projects, we're very keen on having a strong board and a strong team to lead the charge in discovery. So Terry Topping is now working with our geologists, and we have Bill Marmion and Bill Clayton as on the board, as well as myself.
Very nice. So that new CEO, Terry Topping, that's obviously done some very good work in the past, has now joined the business.
Yes.
So it seems like the business is moving onwards and upwards. Well,
and we have
yeah.
the right skills and capacity to develop a resource.
And speaking of skills and capacity, Rita, what do you find are the most important skills that a business needs when finding gold? And how do you find you separate yourself from competitors here in Australia?
I think we're all working together. We're doing the same processes. There's a lot more technical advantage available to us now, and using those sorts of materials or processes helps us to accelerate the discovery, and also the amount of projects that we can work on. But we are focused in Western Australia. Our intention is to be mining in Western Australia. Western Australia is an area that has a lot of success with gold mining, and it's growing.
Yes, that is for sure. Western Australia is known as the gold mining hub of Australia. And that makes a lot of sense, especially with your strong board, Rita. That is crucial for success in this industry. Well, I understand, Rita, that you have to move on now. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you coming across and having a chat with myself here at ShareWise. And for those attendees that are listening at the moment, if you have any questions, please drop them in the Zoom box. Otherwise, that's all for now, Rita. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch base on?
No, we're working hard for our shareholders. We've got a very exciting discovery of antimony now, and copper and silver at the Speewah North. It is in the Kimberley. It's 110 kilometres south of Kununurra, and we're only 110 to the north of us. There's the Port of Wyndham. So in order to progress that project rapidly, we're looking forward to bringing investors a lot more news in the next 2 quarters. And in the meantime, gold is our mainstay, and we're consolidating our projects, and we've had good partnerships in the past, and we can actually work and develop our projects rapidly.
That sounds all very good, and we'll be eagerly awaiting the news, and we can tell you've been working very hard, especially with those recent developments we just discussed. Well, Rita, thank you very much for your time. All the best for the rest of 2025, and thank you very much for those that attended. All the best.
I look forward to bringing you news in the next quarter of our results.
And we look forward to receiving them. Take care, Rita. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye.